Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. Just a quick reminder that the SA Matters show is now available on YouTube, in addition to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. Some of the guests I have on the show have video that they want to show, and it just wasn't working out really well in an audio-only format, so we decided to put all the shows, all the way back to the beginning, on YouTube, on the SA Matters TV YouTube channel. All right, before I kick off today's episode, I want to take a moment to talk about the live virtual training that is now available. How does it work? For those agencies that may not be able to afford to host a live classroom event, I will come to your organization live via the internet and train your team on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making processes. It's sort of like a webinar, but it's live, real-time, where we actually have interaction and talk to each other. For less than $1,000, you can train your entire team on situational awareness. Virtual training is truly the easiest and most affordable way to get your entire team trained on this important topic. If you want to learn more about live virtual training, just visit the samatters.com website and click on the Contact Us tab, and I will give you a call, or you can click on the virtual training programs to see what all the programs are that are available. All right, that's enough of the pre-show stuff. Roll that SA Matters show intro. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
Hi, this is firefighter John Dancelano from the Lakeside Fire Department, and you're listening to Dr. Richard Gasaway on SA Matters Radio. He's helping us to see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello and welcome to episode 216 of the Situational Awareness Matters show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I've been sharing the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making at conferences and for individual organizations for 13 years now, and have trained just over 66,000 students, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, aviation workers, oil refinery operators, and more. This message truly is for anyone who works in a high-risk, high-stress environment. I'm dedicated to improving your safety and your survival, and I'm here to offer you a message of hope and a message of inspiration, and to help you accomplish the most important goal of all, and that's to go home to the ones who love you. And speaking of sharing the message, today I'm coming to you from my office in Minnesota. I'm doing a couple of weeks of situational awareness and leadership training for a local company here in Minnesota called Temperature Specialists. It's nice to be home to celebrate my youngest son's graduation from high school. My travel schedule for the past 10 years has caused me to miss some pretty important family activities, and I'm glad I'm able to be here to be part of his graduation and his upcoming party. Tomorrow, though, I head to Nevada to present to Fire Rescue Med. It's my first time presenting at the Fire Rescue Med conference, so I'm really excited for the opportunity to make some new friends and to share the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making with EMS professionals. Okay, in today's feature segment, we're going to talk about how task fixation can impact situational awareness, and what the difference is between task fixation and tunnel vision, and some best practices for how to deal with the issues of task fixation. But before I start down that path, let me take just a moment to talk about the supervisor development training that I created. Some of you know that my second passion after situational awareness is developing the leadership skills of supervisors, something I didn't do a very good job of when I was the boss. I was guilty of promoting supervisors before they were prepared to be leaders, and that was my fault. And then I got frustrated when they didn't provide good leadership to their team, or they couldn't resolve personnel issues timely, and that was my fault too. So I created the Supervisor Development Training Program. This program is customized to run anywhere from 2 days to 5 days, and no matter the length, there's no PowerPoint. Did you hear that? No PowerPoint. Can you imagine a week-long class that doesn't use PowerPoint? How's that even possible? Not only is it possible, but it's a better way to learn the skills of good leadership. And when adults are engaged in the process of learning and not just being lectured to, the learning can be fun. And the most important thing is the lessons stick. This program shares practical, actionable best practices for leadership, problem solving, conflict resolution, teamwork, communications, motivation, accountability, generational leadership, discipline, coaching for performance improvement, and more. If you're interested in learning more about this program, then just contact me through the SA Matters website. One of the questions I get asked a lot by readers of my blog and listeners and viewers of this show are, when are you coming to my area, or where are you going to be next? Great questions, and I've made it really easy for you to find out. There's a link on the homepage of the SA Matters website labeled Live Training Dates. It's the blue box on the right side of the homepage. Okay, let's get into our feature segment, a discussion of how task fixation can impact situational awareness. Oftentimes in my programs, I will ask the participants, have you ever experienced tunnel vision? And dozens of hands will go up. If not most of the hands will go up. Where in reality, most people have never actually experienced tunnel vision. What they have experienced is task fixation, which is different than tunnel vision. So let me start by explaining what tunnel vision is, and then we'll jump over to task fixation. When you get into a high stress situation, it causes the release of some chemicals and neurotransmitters and hormones in the brain, and that causes the brain to change and prepare for this stressful event. And one of those things that can happen is that you can experience a narrowing of your senses. Some people call that tunnel vision, but you can actually have a narrowing of all of your senses, including hearing, feel, taste, and smell. When you experience tunnel vision, you literally lose your peripheral vision. So if you were experiencing tunnel vision, what some describe it to me like is looking through a paper towel roll. So really all that you see is a very small field of vision, and then everything in the periphery is black. You can't see it. The brain is not accepting information from the periphery. The field of vision narrows. You lose your peripheral vision. And as you would look around with tunnel vision, the tunnel would follow you. So if you were to look to your left, then everything that would now be in front of you would be blackened out. The tunnel follows the eye gaze. Most people have not experienced tunnel vision, although I have interviewed some on this podcast show and others who have truly experienced tunnel vision. I personally never have, although a lot of times earlier in my career, before I really knew what tunnel vision was, I would have said there were many times that I had experienced tunnel vision, when in fact I never did. What I experienced, which is what many others have also experienced, is task fixation. Task fixation occurs when the hands and eyes get coordinated on performing a specific task. And depending on the type of work you do, there is a lot of work, first responder work, police officer work, industrial work, military work, medical team work that requires a fixation of what the hands and the eyes are doing. And it's really all about coordinating the activities of hand and eye. The eyes and the brain are processing the information of what the hands are doing and guiding the hands to do things, oftentimes intricate things, sometimes dangerous things, where if you weren't paying attention, you could injure yourself. And you get narrowly focused on the task. And what can happen when in the task fixation environment is you get so focused on the task that you lose sight of the fact that there is a bigger event going on around you. You can get so narrowly focused on the task that you're not even paying attention to things that are happening within inches or feet of the task that you're performing, much less those things that are happening in the bigger environment that could impact your safety and could impact your decision making if only you knew those things were happening. So as you get narrowly focused on the task, not only does your visual field tighten down to that task, but you can also inadvertently or without even realizing it, narrow your audible field down to that particular task, especially if you have to listen to things that are happening in a very small space where you are working. Your brain can literally tune out or filter out those sounds that are happening outside of that space. So if you're fixated on a task and someone is talking to you, you may not even hear what they're saying. Or if you do hear their voice, you may not be processing the meaning of what they're saying because all of your attention, visual and audible, are fixated on the task that you're performing. So as we talk about situational awareness, we want to talk about really two different perspectives of this. One is the micro awareness, those things that you are giving your attention to in the moment, usually in a small space and usually in pretty close proximity to where you're at, like within arm's reach and the things that you're physically doing. That's the micro awareness. The second awareness is the macro or big picture awareness, the ability to unlock from the things that you're doing and look around and take in the bigger picture, listening and watching the things and then trying to assimilate what do those bigger picture things mean to me, to the task that I'm performing, to my success, to my safety. And the unlock of the micro and then taking in the macro allows us to see and hear a broader perspective of what is happening. So really what we're dancing around is essentially six different kinds of awarenesses that we develop in our workspace. The first awareness is personal awareness. That awareness of yourself, your own knowledge, skills, abilities, fears, phobias, fitness, stamina, the look in the mirror to say, where am I in my abilities? Where do I need to be? And then setting a plan to figure out how to shore up deficiencies or weaknesses to strengthen your knowledge and your safety. The second awareness is team awareness, that awareness of those others that you work with and their knowledge and skills and abilities and fears, phobias, fitness, stamina. You know, it's said that the strength of a team is only as strong as its weakest link. So understanding who are the strong links on the team, who are the weak links on the team, not in a way that's judgmental or mean-spirited, but to look at those weaker links and to figure out what we need to do to help accommodate for those weaker links when we're doing high-risk work, and then how to help those who have lesser skills and abilities to be able to build their abilities so that they become a strong link on the team as well. The third is resource awareness. That awareness of all those non-human things that we depend on in the workplace. So all of our tools, equipment, machinery, all the mechanisms for safety that are built in, our knowledge of how all those things work, why they're there, what it looks like when they're working properly, what it looks or sounds like when there's an upset condition or something isn't going right, and having an awareness of all those non-human things that we depend on to get our job done and to get it done safely. The fourth awareness is the task awareness or the tactical awareness, and that's the small picture, the micro awareness that I talked about, of just having an awareness of the things that are happening really just kind of in your immediate sphere of your circle of safety. And then the fifth is macro awareness, or that big picture awareness, or sometimes called what's strategic awareness, and that is the awareness of how is what I'm doing affecting what someone else is doing, or how is what they're doing affecting what I'm doing, or how is what I'm doing impact things further down the line, or those things coming to me from further down the line. What is the big picture of what is happening and the coordination of those big picture activities within the bigger workspace? And finally, the probably the most challenging of all the awarenesses is shared awareness. The ability of people to communicate and coordinate activities in such a way that they work in harmony and in supportive ways of each other, and not in ways that create safety concerns or production concerns or process concerns that could adversely impact the outcomes. So when you're working in a tight space, or working in a space where your vision is focused tight on a task, a best practice would be to periodically stop the task and take in the big picture and look around and see if you see and hear things different otherwise. Another best practice is to be conscientious of the fact as to how long you are heads down on your task. Because the longer you're heads down, focusing on the micro task, the more potential there are for things to be changing in the big picture, the macro environment, and the more likely we are then to miss it or fall out of big picture awareness, which then could also impact our safety.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Pennington from Jump Seat Training. I'd like to congratulate my mentor, Dr. Richard Gassaway, on over 4 years of Situational Awareness Matters podcast. 4 years, 200 episodes. Firefighters, pick up your phone, download that podcast, and make sure you always remember SA Matters.
What about your episode, Ryan?
Oh, hey, and don't forget my favorite episode's number 73, where we talk about situational awareness inside hoarding conditions. So make sure you download number 73 first and go do the other 100 and some after that one.
In case you missed the last two episodes, numbers 214 and 215, you may want to go back and give them a listen. I interviewed Deputy Chief Dave Beauregard from the Chicopee, Massachusetts Fire Department about a near miss he had where if circumstances were just slightly different, it might have killed him. There are some great lessons in that interview. Thank you, Dave, for sharing, and I encourage you to go back and listen if you haven't had the opportunity to do that. And speaking of sharing, I have a favor to ask of you, the listeners and the viewers of this show. The primary reason I created this show was to give a platform to people like you who've experienced near misses and want to share your stories. The experiences that have been shared with me on this show have been nothing short of amazing and extremely educational. And I'd like to get more of those lessons shared with listeners and viewers, but I need your help. If you've experienced or witnessed a near miss and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, contact me by visiting the SA Matters website and clicking on the Contact Us tab on the top of the homepage. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your near-miss event could save someone else's life. That's powerful. And what a wonderful gift that would be. If you want to share your lessons learned, reach out to me. All right, I want to share some feedback from a student of the SA Matters Online Academy. If you're not familiar with the Online Academy, it's 14 courses that someone can take online at their computer, at home, at work, teaching everything about situational awareness from A to Z. I don't hold anything back. It takes a little while to get through the academy, about, depending on their reading abilities and such, about 22 hours. So it's comprehensive, but it's everything that I would want you to know all in one package. So this feedback comes from Joseph Manchuria. Sorry, Joe, if I messed that up. He's a production manager at Monroe Energy. And he said, Rich, I was a volunteer fire chief for a number of years and wish I had an opportunity to participate in the SA Matters Online Academy back then. I've had tons of training over the last 40 years, but none of it really has addressed situational awareness or how decisions are made or how the brain processes information the way that you did. Currently, I'm a production leader at Monroe Energy, an oil refinery facility in southeastern Pennsylvania. In that capacity, I have general supervision of the refinery operators on shift, including the emergency response team. The on-shift production leader functions as the incident commander. This class not only helped me with emergency response, but also with decision-making during refinery process upsets. As you can imagine, incidents of this at this type of facility can be highly dynamic and visually very impressive, so emotions can run high. In the control center during upsets, I use CRM, which is Crew Resource Management, because it's more important for us to get it right than for me to be right. Our control operators, the guys who control the refinery via DCS computers, could really benefit from this type of training. It would be really nice if your program were tailored to this type of audience that is works in stressful upset conditions. Chief, thanks for your hard work and your research and for making the Academy possible. And thank you, Joe, for that feedback. And speaking specifically to that, Joe, I have customized the program for oil refinery operators, and I'm doing work right now with Syncrude Canada, a strategic partner of ExxonMobil, to deliver situational awareness training for their oil refinery operators, about 600 of them. So it wasn't from your feedback that I did that. It was they contacted me and wanted a program for their employees. But that program is in place now for industry. So if you work in industry and you think that situational awareness program would be handy, reach out to me. So thanks again, Joe. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the companies, organizations, agencies, and departments that have hosted situational awareness training for their team members. I do this to show my thanks to those who put forth the time and effort to organize, advertise, and fund great training for their team members on this important topic. Recent Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events have included Georgia Pacific Corporation in Madison, Georgia, Temperature Specialists in St. Francis, Minnesota, the iWomen's Conference in Tysons, Virginia, and the New Brunswick Fire Chiefs Association Conference in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Upcoming SA Matters tour stop events will include June 13th, Fire Rescue Med in Henderson, Nevada, June 6th, Kansas Gas Company in Overland Park, Kansas, June 9 to 11, Georgia Pacific OSB Facility in Hosford, Florida, June 14-15, Ohio Fire Chiefs Conference in Columbus, Ohio, July 14-15. July 19 to 27, Syncrude Oil Refinery in Fort McMurray, Alberta. August 3 and 4, Evansville Fire Department in Evansville, Indiana. August 9 and 10, Fire Rescue International in Dallas, Texas. August 11 and 12, Northwest Fire District in Houston, Texas. August 13 through 16, Missouri City Fire Department, Missouri City, Texas. August 18, Waukee Firefighters Association, Des Moines, Iowa. August 21 to 24, back at Syncrude Oil Refinery in McMurray, Alberta. If you're interested in seeing the locations of all the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stops, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Live Training Dates. Schedule's always changing, so check back often. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters tour stop event, you can do that by clicking the Contact Us tab on the SA Matters homepage. There are over 80 events scheduled in 2018, and I'm already scheduling events in 2019. So if you're interested, reach out to me. If you want to save some money, you can host a companion program. Those are programs on dates adjoining other dates that I'm already scheduled. And you can save as much as 20% off the travel costs by scheduling a companion program. All right. If you're interested in learning more about the best practices for improving situational awareness and high-risk decision-making, consider getting connected with me and the mission here. And you can do that several ways. Over 75,000 of us connected here through the newsletter membership, podcast subscribers, YouTube subscribers, and those who follow our social media feeds on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. It is through these channels that we share best practices for how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to improve the skills of critical thinking and resilient problem solving. All right, first the newsletter. It's completely free. The newsletter will come to you by email once a month. The newsletter contains featured content from more than 400 articles on the SA Matters blog and from over 200 podcast episodes here on SA Matters TV. And occasionally in the newsletter, I'll offer subscribers special discounts on books, videos, virtual training, online academy, and live events. And those specials are exclusively for the newsletter subscribers. And the newsletter is truly the best way for us to stay in touch with each other. There are a couple of ways you can subscribe to the newsletter. First, if you're in the U.S. and you have a smartphone, you can text SA Matters to 22828. That's the letter S and the letter A, and the word matters all together as one word, SA Matters, to 22828. Be sure to watch your autocorrect because it might try to change SA Matters to something else. If you do it right, you'll get a text message back asking you to enter your email address. Once you do that, you're all signed up. Now, I know some of you don't have smartphones or you don't like to do that texting thing, or maybe you're not based in the United States. In that case, you can just swing by the SA Matters website, click on the red box on the right side of the homepage that says Free Membership. If you want to sign up for the podcast, you can do that on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play by searching for SA Matters Radio. SA Matters Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. You can also sign up for this or subscribe to this YouTube channel, SA Matters TV on YouTube. All together one word, SA Matters TV. You can follow the SA Matters page on Facebook. You can follow @Rich Gasaway on Twitter, and you can search for Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn. Finally, the SA Matters show and the SA Matters TV YouTube channel have been very blessed to enjoy over 800,000 downloads. This makes this officially the longest running, fastest growing, independently operated, safety-focused show on the internet. And I'm looking for an additional sponsor. So if you know a company that might be interested in advertising their product or service on this show, ask them to contact me through the SA Matters website. Well, that's it. Episode 216 is complete. Thank you to our sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to the companies and agencies that have hosted live training events. Thank you to those that have hosted the virtual internet-based training event. Thank you to the more than 2,000 students and graduates of the acclaimed SA Matters Online Academy. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners and viewers of this show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.